Welcome back to Shabby Shack Studio, friends. So happy to have you here. And today we are talking about seasonal decorations. As you can see, I have a little egg in my hand here, but I do think it would work really well on Christmas decorations, something for Thanksgiving or Halloween or really any kind of event that you have on. So we start just by picking up some bits we have around the house. You can see me with this really sweet twine. And this is something that I've recycled that I picked up, it was on a package or something, but I always found that it came unwound. So it drove me a little bit crazy. It was a little bit too messy for me to use for a standard parcel when I want something to be a bit more tailored, but it's perfect for this. It's got this lovely little, it's a cotton and it's got this lovely little fleck through it like a linen. So it's just beautiful. So you can see here I'm just picking up my little egg, deciding which end is the bottom. I'm starting at the bottom and you'll see why in just a moment. So whether this is a pumpkin or whether this is an acorn would be so cute, or a Christmas decoration, you get the point. Find the bottom. And then all I did was spread out those little frayed ends, and I did that on purpose because I'm going to go over the top of them. So I wanted them not to be too bumpy underneath. So I just sprayed them out, and then I added a little bit of hot glue. Watch your fingers. If your hot glue gun is anything like mine, it is old and used and thrashed and a little bit rough and ready. So I do try to keep it out of shot for the most part because it kind of ruins my pretty aesthetic here. So as you can see, all I'm doing is now just twisting that cord because it does unwind, like I said, quite easily. But I'm just twisting it in my fingers as I go and then popping it onto the hot glue. Take care, you will notice me kind of cleaning my fingers up a little bit as I go and just kind of watching how hot it is. So this is not something that you want the kids to do this part. So the hot glue might be best something that mum or dad can help with and the rest the kids can do. So all I've done is then wound it around and around and around. As you can see, it's really a super easy project. You can use your fingers like me just to kind of give it a little bit of a push down here and there and a mold it into shape as you go. Or you could use something like a paddle pop stick or something like that, which might save your fingers a little bit more than mine. So I wanted to show this really carefully because like this is an egg that was pastel originally, and then I was fiddling with different ideas for it, and then I just put a little bit of white spray on it. So, and now we're covering it up with some twine. So I actually really love this, and I did quite a few for my home for Easter. So when you get to the end, I'm just very careful to spread those little ends out again so it doesn't make too much of a bump. It looks messy here, but don't worry, when you see what I do and how I cover that up, you'll see that it blends away and it looks just like a weave on a basket, which is really sweet. So pop that egg down, the end has been secured with some hot glue, picking that hot glue back up, and so you can see I'm overlapping it, but just from above. So I'm doing the same thing with the ends, spreading them out on purpose so that they're not too bumpy, securing that edge, giving it a little bit more of a twist, and then doing the same thing. But I'm lifting it over that end very carefully, and then I'm twisting it back along the line of the rope, and I'm going to continue that round. It looks a bit messy here, and it's a little bit stringy off and on with the glue, but like I said, this is hot glue. It's very easy to clean up as you go, just to pull off those little tendrils that that kind of string a little bit here and there or stick to your fingers. But as you can see, I just keep going back around and around and around, and you'll see what I do when I come back around to that messy end and how we actually cover that up, and you don't even notice it. Honestly, it blends away. It's a bit like when you're weaving a basket and the end has to stop somewhere and the next part starts. It's part of the perfect imperfection of handmade and beautiful elements like this. So as you can see, I'm coming back around again, picking up my hot glue and securing that little end, and then following it around again, and you'll see that those little rough edges just disappear as I just lift it over that and keep following that nice straight line, and you'll notice it starts to disappear. So I'm going to keep doing that, but I'll talk about some of the other little decorations that are going to be added. So you can see some little dried flowers there. You can see one of the eggs that's already been completed. And those little dried flowers were actually picked up off the ground on one of my walks in the afternoon with my family. And I think they're off like a fiddle leaf fig or something like that. They had little berries in the center of the flowers. They were so sweet. And the actual stem is quite flexible, even though it's well and truly dried. So anything like that is going to be perfect. Even leaves, like you can see in the background, little acorns, little berries, anything and all that you think would be nice on a decoration like this. You could buy something if you wanted to, but honestly, I just encourage you to go for a walk in the park and pick something up for free. And then you could actually create these for next to nothing. I already had the eggs from years before, and that, as I said, they were like a pastel, so they didn't go with my home at all. So this was a really, really great little project to use up something that I hate to just throw things away. So as you can see, I've just followed that all the way around to the top, and I've got a nice long tail. So I'm just picking up one of my other eggs, just measuring the tail so that I can tie that up at the end, but to keep them around the same length. You can also see my beautiful candle burning in the background. I'm going to link all of the supplies below, and I'm going to list a few different options that you could use for different seasonal celebrations. So I'll list those below in the comments below for you. And we'll include the actual information about this amazing candle called Happiness. It was actually gifted to me by Buckley Phillips Aromatics, and it's just amazing. So you'll see that feature in a few of my videos, because the smell, it was just lovely. And I had just the most wonderful morning filming a whole lot of videos to share with you that I'd had planned, and it just put me in such a lovely, calm, relaxing mood that I just literally flew from one video to the next without moving too much. So as you can see, I've actually just picked up some jute that I had laying around the house, wrapped that around to secure the little flower, which I've just added a couple of bits and pieces of hot glue here and there to secure it. As you can see, the hot glue isn't visible at all. Tie those ends in a nice neat bow, add a tiny little bit of hot glue here to secure that little tail. And your decoration is just about ready to go. So you could tie this to some twigs that you pick up in the park. You could tie it onto a tree, use it for a napkin, so secure a napkin and dress up a beautiful table, really anything at all. So this is just such a fun craft project that you could do really while you're watching television and relaxing with the children to celebrate any seasonal event at all. I hope you had fun with this little video with me today and getting creative. Thanks so much for being here, friends. I'll see you soon.